Beyond the News, with your anchor them, Eugene Victor.
Breaking news. You be quiet. Get down to your corner. Breaking news. Professor Neal Ferguson of the Imperial College of London, yes, whose bullshit models were used by nearly every nation on Earth as the excuse for martial law, resigned his post yesterday. Not because Neal Ferguson, professor, has gotten every prediction wrong. He predicted millions of people would die from MERS, millions of people would die from SARS, millions of people would die from bird flu, millions of people would die from, well, millions of people will die. Anyway, he had to resign because he got caught sneaking his married lover into his house, breaking quarantine laws. This would be funny if it weren't for the fact that his predictions, Professor Neal Ferguson, will result in the actual deaths of millions due to martial law. Breaking news. Supreme Leader Dr. Fauci declares import, distribution, and consumption of papayas illegal after Tanzania president claims that the test kits his country received for COVID-19 tested positive on goats, quail, and papaya. You can't make this shit up. In martial law now. Friends, have you tried new sizzle fry bacon from nitrate? Good. Why, it fries in just minutes, kills in 40 to 50 years, now infused with maple loops flavor and tiger's blood. That's sizzle fry bacon from nitrate, Charlie Sheen's favorite bacon. And be sure to donate by going up to upper right-hand corner of the Orthodox Coast homepage. Now let's go to our correspondent Wolf Blintzes live in Los Angeles as he begins his 5-part series, The Benefits of the COVID-19 psy-op. Wolf?
Thanks, Eugene. In the pre-fascist takeover of the United States, this street would have been clogged with traffic. Now there's hardly any traffic at all. I guess that's what happens when 50 million people suddenly lose their jobs.
I guess so.
Yes, just another benefit of the COVID-19 psy-op. Back to you in the studio, Eugene.
I'd say we should meet at Norm's for lunch, but they're closed. Thanks, Wolf. We'll see you next week for part 2. It's springtime when a young man's fancy turns to bleach, disinfectant, gloves, and masks. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. did a long-form interview on the Valuetainment channel last week. All this week, Beyond the News has been playing clips from that interview. Today, Kennedy fingers the CIA for his uncle's assassination. Now, normally, this should be 24-hour news on CNN or a week's worth of shows on Rachel Madcow. But this is the new normal, so shut the fuck up. Now let's watch.
Lee Harvey Oswald, he was also Lee Harvey Oswald's case officer, David Abbey Phillips. Originally, Lee Harvey Oswald had worked directly for James Jesus Angleton, who was the counterintelligence. So, reason for his defection was that Angleton, that there was a mole in Langley that they never found. And it's the reason they never had a good spy in Russia to make a fake defection to Russia, because he believed he had his file on a trigger at Langley. And they assumed that the KGB would be wondering, who is this guy? Is he real? And that they would contact the mole at Langley and say, go pull his file and tell us what it says. So he had a trigger system and eyes on that file so that he would know if somebody pulled it, and he'd know that that was the mole. It never happened. The whole time he was reporting to two men, David Johannides, who ended up being the liaison with the Warren Commission. And his job was just to hide stuff. And of course, Alan Dulles, who was the head of the CIA that my uncle had fired and who was the chief suspect in the assassination, ran the Warren Commission, got himself appointed to it, and ran to hide the CIA's involvement. But Oswald was, was a pro-Kennedy guy, loved my uncle, and, was really kind of misused by David Atlee Phillips and the CIA.
It's Cinco de Mayo, but you wouldn't know it because this neighborhood is totally quiet, not filled at all with, fireworks and partying and normal human behavior. That's the way it is. Wednesday, May 6, 2020. America's endless war is now 6,786 days old, and martial law is 56 days old.
This has been Beyond the News with Anchor Them Eugene Victor.